evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. I'm Dustin Caldwell, and tonight we've got a special event as the CRA's Modified Madness Tour is taking a one-week break. So instead, we got a special event here tonight. It is the Accelerated Graphics 150 here in Irwindale. We got some stock late models coming at you here tonight. We are going to go to the Star Spangled Banner. When we come back, it's going to be some great race action here at this short track. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be back. Everybody, thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network for this special event this Wednesday night. It's the Championship Racing Association's Accelerated Graphics 150 tonight sponsor on your screen. Accelerated Graphics, the number down below. If you're looking for some great graphic information, you can find them on the web at worth2tenths.com, or you can reach them by the number on your screen. It's going to be a great night of late model race action. Not the super lates here, folks. We do have the actual stock late models, so it's going to be a little bit slower than what you would see if you're used to seeing some late models, but it'll be some great side-by-side race action to say the least. Taking a look at the information on the screen here at Irwindale, it's a half-mile track. It's not your typical oval. It's got an awkwardness to it, a little bit of a wedge in some parts of the track. It's 79 degrees in the air, 40% humidity with a clear sky, and take a look at that track temperature down there, 106 degrees. Yikes. That means once they start rubbering up this track, it is going to get slick and slick in a hurry. Well, we do appreciate you tuning in. We're going to bring in the race administrator now for the Championship Racing Association. We get a chance to talk with this guy each week. And about the Modified Madness Tour, he always provides some great information and got a little bit of different format here tonight. Kyle, thanks for joining with me in the booth here. We got the stock late models battling it out here for the Accelerated Graphics 150 at Irwindale. But there's a little twist on some things. Tell us a little bit about the choose roll we got coming up and that neat little pace car we see down there on pit road.
Well, instead of using the iRacing pace car and caution system, we're going to be using the CRA pace car and caution system. I got officials down on the track and then myself up here in the booth. We'll be throwing our own cautions as we see fit or as we see needed. This will allow us to not only have fewer caution laps, but hopefully fewer cautions. iRacing does glitch out quite a bit, and they'll throw a caution flag when it's not needed. So with us up here in the booth being able to do so, that should put a limit on that. The cone restart, or choice rule as you called it, is just a little fun tidbit. A lot of dirt tracks do it, and a lot of the short tracks down here in the Mid-Atlantic do it as well. We'll give the 2-to-go signal to all our drivers while they're single file on the front stretch, and then once they get to the back stretch, I'm going to be sitting in a Legends car, and they're going to be able to go to the inside or outside of me to choose their lane that they'd like to restart in. The first 3 guys choose the outside, and the 4th place man chooses the inside. He's going to be starting on that front row inside pole rather than the 4th place starting position in the 2nd row in the outside lane. So it's definitely something that somebody who may spin out early in the race can use to their advantage to get back up front.
It definitely puts an interesting dynamic on tonight's race. Taking a look at the lineup and some of the drivers we got, a lot of the Modified Madness Tour guys are here tonight, both from the Tour division and the Lights division. Also got some other guys who don't typically race in the Modifieds. I see a name that jumps out, Ray Farlow, a guy that's typically your open-wheel driver. He's been making his way through some late model divisions. But is there any driver that the audience can watch for here tonight or early on look to root for?
Taylor Hurst. He's probably the standout guy to me. I think he's always very strong when he shows up to our special events. He's kind of like our special event ringer. He shows up when the broadcast is good or the payout's big, and he always puts on a show, and he's always towards the front at the end. Tanner Cook's also looking to rebound. He's had some computer issues. Finally got him a good PC going, so I think you'll see another good showing from here. The Bash brothers, they're always unpredictable, and then of course Austin Coops also making a return after some computer issues as well. So it's going to be definitely interesting here tonight. I told these boys in the drivers meeting, I'm not being very strict with them. They wanted to complain about some of the rules that I've been pretty strict on regarding contact, so I told them just have at it tonight. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll see which way they like it better.
So the Bash Brothers might get a little bashing in, door bashing here tonight. We'll have to see how that'll play out. Bash Brothers, of course, Marvin Turnmeyer, and I believe it's Nathan Hurlburt, and I forget the third, if you remind me there.
Yeah, David Killow, and I mean, it'll be interesting
yes.
to see. They haven't made many friends this season, and they've put out quite a few threats, which they call jokes, but it'll be interesting to see if any of these other guys that haven't really spoken up on the drivers chat like the Bash Brothers have, whether they'll be looking for some retaliation tonight in this event.
Well, if you think about the Bash Brothers as a giant crane, Turnmeyer, the control arm, you got Killow as the actual boom, and the wrecking ball himself, Nathan Hurlburt. So these guys will be out there on the track looking to create a little friction early on and seeing where they're going to try to battle their way to the front. But Kyle, thank you very much for joining me in the booth. We'll be back next week, folks, for the Modified Madness Tour. I'll look forward to that and continuing on the iRacing Live portal. But anything you want to say about tonight's sponsor, Accelerated Graphics?
Yeah, a huge shout out to those guys. They've always been a huge supporter to the Championship Racing Association. We got some big news going to come out within the next month about them and us partnering for a big series this winter, so look forward to that. So thanks for them for sponsoring us, and you can contact them with their phone number on the logo, and they'll get you some good graphics on your race car.
All right, Kyle, appreciate you joining me up in the booth. We'll probably get some post-race words after that. I'm sure it's going to be an interesting night here with these stock late models. Look forward to it, and be safe out there when you're being the actual cone out on the track.
All right. Have fun up there in the booth, and good luck to all our drivers.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. Kyle Barnes, the league administrator for the Championship Racing Association League here on iRacing.com. What a race it's going to be here tonight. They're going to have their own pace car, their choose rule. That is where you're going to see if a caution comes out. A legend car on the backstretch where they will choose where they want to be. Now keep in mind, they are not going to be using the iRacing pace car, so a little bit of things may hiccup here and there due to how the iRacing system works, so it'll get ironed out rather quickly. As we now see drivers starting to make their way to the grid. Take a look at the grid down there, folks, as these stock late models, used to doing super lates. A lot of drivers out there, or a lot of different leagues love to run super late models, but tonight these are the less horsepower, overall same body style as a super late. But these are what you would find at your local home track, week in and week out. And there you can see that pace car. It is a Corvette, and take a look how fast it goes. And there is that, driving that is Kevin the Crash Hash, a Modified Madness Tour driver. He comes down pit road, and there is Kyle Barnes, who will be i.e. the Cone tonight, as you see the little Cone logo on the back of that Legend car. Drivers sent to go racing. They're going to do 2 laps of pacing before they actually... So they will have the iRacing pace cars you see here coming through turn 3 and 4. The iRacing pace car will be initially out on the track, but after that, folks, there will be no cautions other than mandatory cautions that the league throws out here tonight. And you'll see that Corvette back, that CRA Corvette pace car out on the track to pace these guys around. So Scott Naslin, one of the drivers up front, that 15 car to the outside row, as they now make their way into turn 4. The green flag's ready to go in the air.
Green, green, green.
There's the green flag. 150 laps coming at you. And we've got some 3 wide into turn number 1. Take a look at that action. As Seth the Merchant and the 35 machine already out to the lead. Coming across that start-finish line into lap number 2. 3 wide action again into the first turn. As Scott Naslin, Tanner Cook, and Robbie Bunded find themselves battling, trying to get into that second position slot. It looks like the 15 of Scott Naslin currently sitting in it. As that 95 machine of Tanner Cook, or 96 machine of Tanner Cook, that white car you see down low, sitting in 4th position now here on lap number 3. Now finds himself side by side with Scott Naslin in the 15 machine as they come into the backstretch towards turn number 3. 96 machine loses out and now will be back side by side with Robbie Bunden up to the high side. Nice little battle there for second position as we jump back and take a look. Benny Ellison in the 01 machine to the inside of the 12 of Wade Cheetah. As they come into the backstretch, running a little side-by-side battle behind them as Tom Hameka and it looks like Ryan Lang are battling it out. Tom Hameka in the 14 machine, the 804 machine of Ryan Lang. Into turn number 1, Lang is going to push really high towards that wall. As the 14 loses out, Hameka will fall to 11th position here on lap number 5. Now a side-by-side, DeMerchant edging out Tanner Cook into turn number 1 here on lap 6. At 6 Man Inc. Late model now makes his way to turn number 3. And now the 96 of Cook to the inside. Dominating the 3rd and 4th turns. You can see the high line working really well for DeMerchant as Cook has been able to use that lower line, but now syncs up with that 35 into turns 1 and 2. And he looks to gain, put some pressure there on that 35 machine. Tanner Cook to the inside of turns 3 and 4, looking to go side by side, will not get it here on lap 7. But as they work their way into lap 8, he's edging closer and closer to DeMerchant's bumper. Back behind Robbie Bunden, Austin Coop, that 53 machine to the inside, running that U.S. Navy paint scheme to the inside of the 13 of Jody Green, now takes over 5th position here before lap number 9 as he crosses the start-finish line, heading into turn number 1. Side-by-side battle nearly coming out of turn number 2. Some connection issues for the 96 of Tanner Cook. He's looking to work that lower groove, trying to put a little slide move on Seth DeMerchant as he goes through turns 3 and 4. Take a look at that. He's gaining some ground. Into turn number 1, ever so closely. DeMerchant trying to use that high line. The shaded area grip is a factor up there near that wall, and he's trying to take advantage of it, folks, as now they continue to battle side by side. Coming across that start-finish line, DeMerchant barely edging out Tanner Cook into lap number 11, but it looks like Cook is now deadlocked with that 35 machine as they come into the backstretch towards turn number 3. Tanner Cook working that lower groove is going to push the 35 high, and he should take the lead here coming across that start-finish line. No! DeMerchant hangs on to pick up a total of 11 laps led here at Irwindale. The 96 of Tanner Cook still to the inside of Seth DeMerchant. Little three-pack battle back there at 5th position with Robbie Bunden. Still continuing, and it looks like right across that start-finish line, it was the 96 of Tanner Cook taking over the race lead into lap number 13. So Cook now into the clean air can run the line that he wants to run and begins to pull away by 2 car lengths over the 35 of Seth DeMerchant as he heads into lap number 14. Scott Naslund back there in 3rd position in that 15 late model there coming across. A little skull on the hood of that car. The 53 of Austin Coop up into 4th position. Robbie Bunden, the 87 machine, in your top 5. Just outside the top 5, the 13 of Jody Green. You got Wade Cheetah, the 12 machine, and a 3-wide battle as they pass that 09 machine. That was Brandon Simmons getting past there in turn number 4. Some more 3-wide action into turns 1 and 2 as we follow that 804 of Ryan Lang. But Brandon Simmons, the 09 white car that you see with red letter or numbering up top, just to the outside of the 01 of Benny Ellison, the 7 of Kyle Leverall. Has that orange 7 on his car heading into turn 1, just to the outside of Benny Ellison. Tom Hameka and Dwight Beverly. Beverly in that 06 machine, the blue and gray car you see on the bottom line. Inside of that 14 of Hameka out of turn number 4. Some more 3-wide action as these guys are just trying to find the right groove. Take a look again, 3-wide action into turn 1. Zach Knowles, that 99 machine, nice looking California-style paint scheme on that late model as he works his way into turn number 4. Somebody pushed high up into the wall. Looks like it was the 14 of Hameka. Getting a little bit tight in turn number 4. Now battles side by side with that 06 machine of Dwight Beverly. Back up to the race lead out of turn number 4, heading into lap number 19. Tanner Cook has a sizable almost 1 second lead over now Scott Naslund, who's in 2nd position, as Seth DeMerchant, who led the first 11 laps of this race, falls back to 4th. Austin Coop, the 53 machine, now falls into 3rd, just ahead of the 35. Wade Cheetah trying to get around Jody Green. Jody Green, the 13 machine, up there in the top 5 slot. As you take a look at your bottom left of your screen, folks, the top 5 right there: Cook, Naslund, Coop, DeMerchant, and Green. Testament to the great racecraft that this league has, folks. Started tonight with a total of 20 vehicles, and we've been over 20 laps now without a caution. As we follow the 96 of Cook, Tanner Cook, into turn number 3, as it looks like the 15 of Naslund is just now halved his way up the field. Has a half a second gap between the 96 as he works his way into turn number 1. He's going to close that gap even more out of turn number 2. Naslund chasing down that 96. Austin Coop back in 3rd position, 1 second behind your race leader. Take a look at that action coming out of turn number 4. As Jody Green and Wade Cheetah still continue to battle it out. A little bit of lap traffic in the way. DeMerchant in 4th position is going to push tight. That should open up the door for Jody Green now to take over 4th position. He'll nudge it out by a nose. So the 35 falls back to 5th position into lap number 24. And he is working that high line. The high line's not there for him, though, as now the 12 of Wade Cheetah moves up into the 5th position slot. So just like that, in 1 lap, the 35 of DeMerchant now falling almost 3 positions back as we watch the 09 of Brandon Simmons look to come to the inside as they head into turns 1 and 2. That 09 machine should edge out Seth DeMerchant. So Simmons, side by side with DeMerchant, will now look to edge him out. DeMerchant still wanting to make that upper line work. But the more and more he runs it, the farther and farther back in the lineup he ends up. Kyle Leverall, the 7 machine, down to the low groove through turns 1 and 2. has Robbie Bunden, the 87 machine, up to the high side as they head into turn number 3. Here comes that 804 of Ryan Lang, excuse me. And Kyle Lang's the blues singer. As we take a look at the race lead into turn number 3, the 27 machine, or 20 lap number 27, the 96 of Tanner Cook coming across that start-finish line. Into turn number 1. Still holding on to a half a second lead. Some connection issues there. One of the drivers, Scott Naslin, the 15. Under a half a second into turn number 3 behind Tanner Cook. Austin Coop right there behind Naslin. And Jody Green really on the bumper of Austin Coop. Wade Cheetah in your 5th position slot, the 12 machine, into turn number 3 right behind Jody Green. Cheetah normally runs the Tour Modified, and you find Jody Green back in the lights. So any animosity these guys have in the Modified Madness Tour, they could take it out here tonight. As we told you earlier, the Bash Brothers recently formed. That is David Killow, Nathan Hurlbert, and Marvin Turnmeyer. As we look to find them here tonight, Turnmeyer, the 16 machine, back here. Mid-South driver started 18th. He's currently sitting 18th, now battling side by side with the 53 machine of Austin Coop, looking to go. He is actually 1 lap down at this point. "32 laps into it, folks, and we have yet to see a caution. But keep in mind, if we see a caution, you're going to see a legend car out there as the cone rule. Kyle Barnes explained it earlier on. Take a look at the battle up front now as the 15 of Scott Naslin looks to the inside of Tanner Cook here in turns 1 and 2. Little side-by-side battle for the race lead. Here comes Naslin to the inside of Tanner Cook. A side-by-side battle, and just like that, oh, a crossover move! What a beautiful move from Cook to Naslin. Naslin thought he had the lead in turn 4, and just as he was exiting turn 4, that 96 of Tanner Cook said, "I'm taking that race lead back," crosses over, and takes it back right across that start-finish line. So the 96 not losing a moment or a lap led since he has taken it away from Seth the Merchant. Now up to a total of 23 laps led here tonight. Beautiful job done there by Tanner Cook. Scott Naslin now falling back beyond a half a second gap as he got a little tight in turn 2, touched the wall, and that allowed the 96 to get that much further ahead. Austin Coop sitting solid back in 3rd position as Jody Green has a lap traffic car. That's the 16 of Turnmeyer ahead of him. Brandon Simmons behind him, putting the pressure on now, coming across that start-finish line. Almost, and there's some 3 wide action through turn number 2. Turnmeyer to the high side, gets the momentum. He'll go ahead of Green. Green and Simmons battling side by side for position, as it looks like Brandon Simmons is going to take 4th here, coming across that start-finish line. Whoa, what a battle that was. Across the start-finish line, Simmons, the 09 car, able to hold on to it, is now, wow, Turnmeyer's getting into the wall. He's going to take half that wall with him, coming through turn number 2. As you see the 13 of Jody Green to the inside, Brandon Simmons with the highline momentum out of turn number 4, edges out the 13 machine now to fully take over 4th position. Naslin now back up with Cook once again to put the pressure on Tanner as they head through turns 3 and 4. That 15 machine trying to get around them yet again. One of the drivers they mentioned here tonight, this is Tanner Cook, folks. Guy that shows up for special events. And he's what Kyle Barnes deemed a ringer, this Virginia driver here tonight. Actually started 4th. We have to subtract 2 positions here from the start, as considering the cone car and the pace car were up front. So started 4th here tonight. Led 29 laps of this race. Fast lap time here tonight, 19.09. His last lap was a 19.69. Let's see what it is when he crosses the start-finish line here. 19.53. Actually got faster that time. So not too far off of his initial start here in the first 42 laps of this race. Dwight Beverly back there in that 06 machine has some rear end damage as he works his way into the front stretch now behind Zach Knowles. Currently sitting 9th in the overall set with the 804 of Ryan Lang behind him. See that little bit of damage there on that car. Take a look at that paint scheme of Zach Knowles, folks. That is a wicked paint scheme on that. Almost like stained glass meets California Surfer or Miami Homestead walls. It's almost what Miami Homestead walls are colored. Austin Coop, the 53 machine, in third position, making his way across the start-finish line into turns 1 and 2. See that Brandon Simmons not too far back. Them and Jody Green still continuing to battle it out for that 4th position slot as Jody Green looking to the inside of Brandon Simmons into turns 1 and 2 will push just a little bit higher than that 09 car. And now the 804 and the 06 battle it out as Ryan Lang looks to be to the inside of Dwight Beverly. Take a look at that battle. As they're heading down to turn number 4, here comes the 06 machine of Beverly. Still edging out Lang for 9th position here on lap 47. Ray Farlow, open wheel driver to the 72 car. This guy is a legend in sprints, folks. 305s, he is amazing in the 305 and the 360 sprints. Loves Silver Crowns. Been running super lates here lately. Another guy we see back there in the 3 wide section, heading through 3 and 4. Benny Ellison to the outside of that 911 machine. That is Taylor Hurst, one of the drivers they thought was going to be the ringer here tonight. Hurst, 18th position, 1 lap down. Tom Hameka, that 14 machine, just ahead of Ellison. Tanner Cook with a 1 3/4 second lead over Scott Naslin now here in lap 51 into the backstretch. Things beginning to pace out as you can see the gapage from the first 4 cars. Wade Cheetah. Oh, Brandon Simmons got a little oversteer there into turn 4 as he's now down on the apron. Maybe having some issues. Or is he going to look for his first pit stop as he makes his way down pit road? So Brandon Simmons comes in for some tires here on lap 53. See, he started 12th here tonight. Again, folks, in the started position in the bottom of the screen. Subtract 2 for that pace car and the legend car, so he started 12th here tonight. Currently in 16th position. New England driver with his first pit stop. Tanner Cook into the backstretch. Still with the race lead over Scott Naslin, has a 1.75 second lead out of turn number 4. Comes across that start-finish line. There is Naslin. Austin Coop can now sense the 13 of Jody Green approaching as they head out of turn number 2. The gap is closing between those 2 drivers. As take a look at that, the 13 of Green almost got within 1 car length of Austin Coop out of turn number 4. Within 2 through turns 1 and 2. Here he comes. Into turn number 3, looking to the inside of Austin Coop. Can Jody Green get around him? It becomes a long game of, think of a, how to put this, like a football, how it wobbles as these drivers get a little bit closer. As you can see how Jody Green doesn't let off as much as Austin Coop does, so he gains some time, comes back around, does it again. So if you think in terms of a circle, it almost creates like a wobble effect, and each time he gets closer and closer to the driver ahead of him. Little connection issues there with Coop into turns 3 and 4. Side-by-side action here, folks, as we're watching the 06 of Dwight Beverly. Not a position battle with that 911 of Hurst, but still a good little battle there. Farlow, though, side-by-side with Turnmeyer, just gets ahead of Turnmeyer. Turnmeyer back in 17th position, just ahead of him is the 911 of Taylor Hurst. So technically, you can have a 2-slot battle here as the guys who are 1 lap down, Turnmeyer and Hurst, can battle for position, but they do have 2 lead lap cars ahead of them, the 72 of Farlow and the 06 of Dwight Beverly. Tanner Cook through turn number 2 into the back stretch here on lap 61. 2.25 second lead over the 15 of Scott Naslin. Ever since he got in lap number 12, got ahead of Seth DeMerchant, he has been leading a total of 50 laps now. Was a good little battle about 30 laps ago with Naslin as Naslin tried to take Tanner Cook to the inside of turn number 4. Cook crossed back over and took over the race lead. Relentless up front for that 96 machine. Approaching the halfway point of this race at about 10 laps. Still have yet to have our first caution here tonight, folks. Just another great testament to the CRA Racing League Championship Racing Association. If you're an iRacing driver and you're catching this broadcast and you want to get involved in some good short track racing, definitely check out ChampionshipRacingAssociation.com, or you can find them in the league directory. And for anybody who wants to know more on what this league does, you can find them on the web at ChampionshipRacingAssociation.com. Zach Knowles and Kyle Leveralt. Get my Ryans and Kyles mixed up here tonight. Zach Knowles to the high side of Leveralt. Leveralt battling for that 6th position slot. Will probably pick it up. The momentum coming back from the 99 of Knowles. Able to hold on to it into lap 66. Keep in mind the 911 of Taylor Hurst. Not in a position battle, folks, but definitely a frustrating moment for Zach Knowles as he's going to run really high. And actually, it's a 2-parter. He pushed Knowles high, but also blocked Leveralt to be able to take over 6th position from Knowles. So the 7 of Leveralt definitely frustrated with that move, goes back up, and wow, does he dive it down in. Turns 3 and 4, and a little contact. Oh! And it looks like Knowles is going to get spun, so that is going to bring out a caution flag. Now keep in mind, folks, we're going to still show a green flag up here, but the caution does come out. So we're going to follow the pace car, as you can now see. The CRA pace car coming out. As we pick up the action on that Corvette. Beautiful looking car. That is Kevin the Crash Hash behind the wheel of that pace car, that CRA pace car here tonight. Cars will be bunched up. Let's take a look at the top 5. Looks like it's Tanner Cook, Scott Naslin, Jody Green, Wade Cheetah, and Austin Coop. Summary statistics so far, and we'll have to manually count these cautions tonight. So here on lap 68, caution flag thrown, so 1 caution, 1 lead change here in the first 69 laps completed. Again, tonight, folks, this is the Accelerated Graphics 150 presented by Accelerated Graphics for the CRA Racing or Championship Racing Association League. There, we're going to bring that monstrous graphic up on the screen so we can definitely show our appreciation for tonight's sponsor. Phone number down below. Again, you can find them on the web at worth210ths.com. So the cone car still down on pit road. He's behind the wall as we continue to follow Crash Hash up in that pace car. Beautiful looking, again, beautiful looking paint scheme down there on that car. So here comes the cone car now out. So we will see the choose roll implemented here. So if we can get the right camera angle for you, there it is. So we will see the cars whether they want to choose the inside or outside lane. Let's see what happens. So it'll be Tanner Cook, Scott Naslin choosing first. So Cook go to the inside, Naslin to the outside. It's a little inside-outside action. Oh, we had two go to that. So it looks like the 06 is going to pick up a couple slots. Beverly is going to pick up a couple of slots. He'll move to 7th position. So again, this typically, if you were at your home track, folks, would be a cone, but they wanted to spice it up and put a Legends car out there since we can't officially put a cone out there. So they are bunched up, ready to go back racing. Lights are off that pace car this time by. We'll be back green on lap number 73. Tanner Cook will be to the inside of Scott Naslin. Will be setting that pace. There goes the pace car into the pits. So here it comes. Tanner Cook, and that 96 machine has the 15 of Naslin to the outside. Flagman will be ready to give the signal this time by. Through turns 3 and 4 into the front stretch. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet. It's going to be going. There's the green flag. We are back to the race. And Tanner Cook, not wasting a moment, takes over a half a second jump on Scott Naslin, and wow, he is out to the lead already. The 53 of Austin Coop now making his way into 2nd position. Down that backstretch into turn number 3, has a little bit of gappage between him and Naslin. Naslin falls back to 3rd. Some side-by-side race action. Oh, Leveralt and Hameka getting into it out of turn number 4. Wow, some 3-wide action through turns 3 and 4. Restarts are always a scary point in a race, as everybody's nerves are ready to go back racing and their foot does the walking. And unfortunately, some door banging does happen. A lot of contact as you see Leveralt now falling way back. And it looks like we are back under caution yet again. So the pace car comes back out onto the track just like that. Cautions breeding cautions. We're able to go the first 68 laps without a caution, and in just 2 laps had our second caution here tonight. And again, folks, please take in mind that even though you see the green up there, this is manually being done outside the iRacing pacing system, okay? Just so they could be able to bring you this beautiful pace car that you see through turn number 2. This is a manual caution, so you see in Crash Hash in the backstretch leading the 96 of Tanner Cook. So this actually is a competition caution, folks. This is what's happening. So Kyle Barnes, we're going to try to bring in Kyle Barnes here real quick. As we bring in the man himself, Kyle Barnes, actually got out there on the track once. So this is a halfway point mandatory competition caution. Kyle, tell us what's going on.
These guys are going to have the options of putting on 2 tires on the right or left-hand side of their race cars, and then we're also going to have an invert of 10, 12, 14, and that'll be it because the 16th place guy is a lap down. So 10, 12, or 14 will be the invert, and we'll do a little draw here in just a second to figure it out.
All right. We'll have to get that from you if you could just stand by and keep us updated on that. That way we can see what's going on there. While I got you, though, just real quick, what was it like being out there in that Legend car and having all those late models pass you?
A little bit wild, but not too bad.
All right, so we'll stand by here with you, Kyle. Appreciate it. And we'll get that invert here, folks. Again, this is a mid-race competition caution. So we're going to take actually a short commercial break. When we come back, there'll be some race action to continue here at Irwindale. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to Irwindale this Wednesday night with the Championship Racing Association. I'm Dustin Caldwell here with the Digital Forge Broadcast Network and our coverage of the Accelerated Graphics 150. Half the race completed, we took a competition caution to do a little bit of invert on the field. As the lineup, the pit stops are down there working out on the field as we're getting the lineup. Believe it was the 10-12 cars are going to have a little bit of inverted action. They're having a drawing for the numbers. Kyle Barnes, do you have any update on that?
Yep, the drawing was a 10, so we'll be in the top 10 drivers as they cross the line there for the caution flag. That should put the 35 of Seth DeMerchant on the pole with the 804 of Ryan Lange to his either outside or inside, as these guys will have the cone restart to pick and choose as they come out of pit road.
That'll be an interesting move there, especially with Tanner Cook being as dominant here tonight, leading a total of 65 laps here in the first part of the first 75 laps of this race. So that'll make things interesting when we go back to the green. Tell us, gotta tell you, Kyle, that is a beautiful looking pace car, that Corvette out there driven by Kevin Crash Hash here tonight. Both doing that little bit of work in different vehicles. Is there any thoughts, any recap thoughts you have on the first half of this race?
I think it was definitely a good half. Went clean and green for quite a good distance. We had that short little caution there before we had to the halfway break, so that's why we're a couple laps past halfway. Some drivers had a little bit of different opinions. Some drivers wanted to go back green. Some drivers just wanted to call it halfway there, but we'll see how it goes whenever we get these guys lined up here in just a second.
All right, Kyle, thank you much. We'll join you right after the race is over. Appreciate your time, and if you happen to be out there, hopefully you won't have to get out there again in that Legend, but if you do, we look forward to seeing it, bud.
All right, well, hopefully I don't. Whenever these guys exit pit road, they're going to be able to choose inside or outside once they get to the pace car. I will not be out there in the cone car, as I'll be organizing them, so whenever they leave pit road and they get lined up, that's when they'll be making their choices.
All right, thank you much for the information, and let's have a great second half, Kyle.
Thank you.
All right, so Kyle Barnes providing that information. So that is a neat little thing that they're doing here in this race, a little invert action. And folks, most of you aware, if you go to your local home tracks on a Saturday night, Friday night, Saturday night, whatever night they race, typically before that race starts, there is a little drawing that most local tracks will do. And right when the race starts off, the fastest guy, usually the pole sitter, draws a number from a bucket, and that position number gets inverted with him. So a 10 was drawn, so we're going to see Tanner Cook, who was up front, going to go back to 10th position when we go back green. So as we see the pace car out there, they begin lining up just outside the pace car. So here is the backstretch. And again, tonight, I want to thank the sponsor, Accelerated Graphics. We've shown you that earlier. There's the 35 of DeMerchant, who will be on the pole. So he chooses the outside lane. As the second position driver now comes off of pit road. Looks like that is the 804 who will be in, I believe that's going to be third position. So Ryan Lang. '72, Ray Farlow will be starting to the inside row. He chooses that. See if we can get you a different angle on this as we're in an awkward point position on the track. So there it is. The 06 of Dwight Beverly to the inside of the 804 of Ryan Lang. The 01 of Benny Ellison. It's going to be the 99 of Zach Knowles. The 12 of Wade Cheetah will be rounding out 7. Waiting for our 8th position driver to make his way off of pit road and take that inside lane. Knowles with the, looks like a little bit of damage there on the inside of that car. Looks like it's going to be Scott Naslund in 8th position here as he works his way up. Possibly. Or are we still waiting on 8th position? The 53 of Austin Coop back behind Naslund. Tanner Cook will go to 10th. That has been your dominant guy here tonight, folks. Tanner Cook, the Virginia driver, total of 65 laps led. Due to a half-race invert, we'll start 10th position when we go back green. Up in that front row, it's going to be the 35 of DeMerchant Ray Farlow. Now looking back, it looks like the 14 of Tom Hameka and the 911 of Taylor Hurst will be in 12th. 7 of Kyle Leverald, who had some restart animosity with a few other drivers. He'll be back in 13th position. Jeff Ryan, the number 3 machine, will be back there as well. The 87 of Robbie Bunden back in 15th. Brandon Simmons back behind them. Marvin Turnmeyer and Alan Wild. So we see Alan Wild making his way off the pit road onto the track. And there is Marvin Turnmeyer. That is the rest of the field. Actually, Turnmeyer will get a wave around being in the lucky dog spot, so part of the Bash Brothers group. The only one of them on the field here tonight is David Killow and Nathan Hurlburt, not on the grid at all. They're showing up here at Irwindale. So with them being lined up, the pace cars shall begin to move. And we'll begin to lead them around. Into turn number 3 goes Kevin Crash Hash in that Corvette CRA pace car. So it'll be at least one more lap of pacing as they get the cars up to operating temperature, and we'll be back green. Looks like it's going to be on lap 80. Actually, take that back. Crash Hash running those lights a little longer than he should have. Messing me up here in the booth. So it is Farlow and DeMerchant as they come out of turn number 4. Lap 79 coming at you, folks. Flagman gives a signal, the green flag back in the air, and there goes Seth DeMerchant ahead of Ray Farlow to the outside once again, using that high line, trying to use those shadows up there in turns 1 and 2 to get some extra grip, and now picks up a sizable lead over the 72 of Ray Farlow up to a 3/4 second here into turn number 3. Tanner Cook still back there in 10th position. Beautiful 3-wide action through turn number 4, right there with the 12 of Wade Cheetah. Cheetah to the inside of the 0-1 of Benny Ellison, to the outside of the 53 of Austin Coop as they come out of turn number 2 into the backstretch towards turn number 3. The 53 of Austin Coop to the inside of the 12 of Wade Cheetah. Down the front stretch, and something's amiss here, folks. And it looks like Alan Wild having a little bit of issues there with Jody Green. Green down on pit road. See if we can go back and take a replay. There is, may need to dial it back just a little bit. So Green and Wild getting into it. Let's dial it back another 10 seconds. So we're going to follow the 33 of Alan Wild. Here's the restart. Jody Green, the 13 machine, to the inside of the 33 as they go through turns 3 and 4. I believe the incident's going to come from the second turn here. So as they cross the start-finish line, the 16 of Turnmeyer. Turnmeyer gets loose, and that's what's actually going to bring out the caution. Second official caution of the night. The third overall, as the third one would be considered the competition caution. So Marvin Turnmeyer, the 16 machine, gets loose coming out of turn number 4, gets into Alan Wild, the 33 machine, and the 13 of Jody Green ends up into the wall. So here's the cone rule in effect now as the pace car goes by. I think Brandon Simmons once again heads down. Nope, he's not going to go down pit road. So the lights will come off the pace car. We'll be back green on lap number 85. It's going to be DeMerchant and Farlow up front. Beverly and Lang is your front four when we go back green. Pace car is going to head into the pits. Keep in mind, Tanner Cook still battling around 10th position. Most laps led here tonight, 65 in total. As they work their way out of turn number 4, flagman ready to give the signal. There it is, the green flag flies. We're back to the race on lap 85, and there goes the 35 of Seth DeMerchant. Not working as high as he has before through the first couple turns. Has a 4/10 of a second lead now over the 72 of Ray Farlow into turn number 3, the 804 of Ryan Lang. Looking to challenge the outside of the 72 of Farlow out of turn number 4. Still some three-wide battling going on back there. Looks like Coop and Knowles battling through turn number 2. Austin Coop, the 53 machine, to the inside of the 99 of Zach Knowles. Down the backstretch into turn number 3. Austin Coop going to work that lower groove, trying to get ahead and get up into that 6th position slot. Knowles hangs on by a nose across that start-finish line into lap number 87, and here comes Farlow now, challenging the 35 of DeMerchant for the race lead. Take a look at Wade Cheetah, the number 12 machine, going to battle for 3rd position in turn number 3 with the 804 of Ryan Lang. What a battle it is for 3rd position. Wade Cheetah to the inside, and now looks like the 06 of Dwight Beverly passes Zach Knowles, takes over the top 5 into lap number 88. What a beautiful move from that 06 machine, as it looks like the 99 of Knowles is going to make some contact coming out of turn number 2. Here comes the 53 of Austin Coop. Now to the inside of the 99 of Knowles. Not quite going to be at door level with them as they come across the start-finish line, as Knowles rallies back to the outside of the 06 of Dwight Beverly. The 12 of Wade Cheetah sitting solid up there in 4th position. The side-by-side battle for the top 5 slot right there behind, as now the 06 of Beverly looks to the inside of Cheetah but will not have the momentum. That high line definitely working high and mighty coming out of turn number 4. 06 of Beverly and Knowles find themselves battling yet again side-by-side into turn number 3 here on lap number 90. That 06 machine working that middle groove. Oh, and look at the inside move coming from the 911 of Taylor Hurst. Taylor Hurst up in the mix now, running 8th position, trying to pick up a couple spots as he ran that extremely low groove through turn number 4. Still a nice little battle back here around 5th position as Zach Knowles hangs on just behind Wade Cheetah. Farlow trying to challenge the 35 of Seth DeMerchant through turns 1 and 2. He's going to look for that middle groove. Will he edge him out? Not quite this time by here on lap 92. As now the 804 of Ryan Lang looks to the inside of Ray Farlow. Farlow pushes down to block the 804. 804 running extremely low through turns 3 and 4. Has a nose coming out of turn number 4, but that high line definitely got that momentum as the 35 runs the high line with some extra grip. DeMerchant still with the race lead, has a 3/10 of a second lead over the 72 of Ray Farlow as they head into turn number 3 here on lap 93. A little bit of side-by-side action. The first 5 cars looking to be side-by-side. Austin Coop now looks like he's battling side-by-side with the 911 of Taylor Hurst into turn number 1 and 2. Wow, Coop is going to push high to the outside of Zach Knowles. He's going to lose 2 slots as now that 911 comes up and battles Knowles for 5th position. A little bit of 3-wide looseness there from the 53 of Coop coming out of turn number 4, and a little bit of slide action from the 99 of Zach Knowles. He continues the slide, but he saves a beautiful save from the 99. Cost him 2 positions here on lap number 95, but Zach Knowles able to hang on and avoid an actual caution. Now we see the 911 of Taylor Hurst dive down. Coming out of turn number 4 is going to be side-by-side with Wade Cheetah, battling for that 4th position slot. Side-by-side out of turn number 2. Here they come into the backstretch, ladies and gentlemen, on lap 96. Taylor Hurst, one of the drivers here tonight, was looking at 18th position, 1 lap down. After the restart, he has restarted his whole momentum and is now looking for that top 4 spot as he heads into turn 1 and 2 in the lower groove. Ray Farlow dives down. That 72 machine still trying to get up there with the 35 of DeMerchant. Side-by-side, Cheetah and Hurst now into turns 3 and 4. They got the 804 of Ryan Lang just ahead of him. And it looks like Hurst is going to use Lang to block Cheetah and pick up a position there as he comes through turn number 2, finds himself side by side with the 804 and edging out that 804. So Taylor Hurst in the 911 machine now moves into 3rd position, but here comes that 804 rallying back on the high line. Not quite, as now the 911 and some contact between Cheetah and Lang. Just a little bit of door banging coming across that start-finish line into lap number 99, folks. Let's go back and take a look at that replay. Wow. Things are starting to get more intense as these laps wind down. Just a couple more laps and it will be 50 to go. Take a look at this action here coming across the start-finish line. This is 1 lap prior. You can see almost nearly 3-wide action. The 804 of Lang just a little loose. Some wiggle action coming out of turn number 2. Here's 3 and 4. Keep an eye on Wade Cheetah, the 12 machine, right in front of the 53 of Austin Coop as they come across. And it looks like yet again the 804 of Ryan Lang is going to get loose, make some wall contact, come down into the side of Wade Cheetah. That's going to turn that 12 machine sideways. He's going to go to the infield. Ryan Lang, though, is going to get the brunt of it. Look at that head-on contact with the wall right there in the entry point to turn number 1. He's going to spin out just a little bit, and it looks like the guys are going to have to dive low to miss him as we see the 06 machine go to the low side. And it looks like the 14, wow, the 14, straight up using those ARCA brakes. That is Tom Hameka. Going to make some contact as well as a couple other drivers there. See that Mopar machine logo there on that car. We try to get you a different camera view there. That is the 01 of Benny Ellison. So the cone car being used here, folks. Kyle Barnes working on that cone car, so the lights will come off the pace car. Crash Hash behind the wheel of that Corvette. Still up front, a good battle between the 35 of DeMerchant and the 72 of Farlow. We now have 49 to go. It'll be 48 when we get the green flag. The pace car will be heading into pits this time by. There goes the pace car. So the 35 of DeMerchant, with a total of 36 laps led here tonight, sets the pace with 48 to go. Out of turn number 4, the flag man ready to give the signal. And the green flag flies. We're back to the race with 48 laps to go here at Irwindale. DeMerchant already wasting no time, but take a look at that 53 of Austin Coop. Barrels to the inside through turns 1 and 2, battling side by side now with the 72 of Farlow. Here comes the 911 of Taylor Hurst to the inside. Nearly making it 3 wide. He's going to check up, though, through turn number 4. 53 of Coop. Oh, off the wall out of turn number 4. That's going to send 72 of Farlow down into the 99 of Knowles. Through turns 1 and 2, a little bit of side action from the high side as we see 53 of Austin Coop now being passed by the 93 of Taylor Hurst. Hurst and Coop battling for second position out of turn number 4, and it looks like the 911 is going to edge him out just by a nose at the start-finish line as 46 laps to go. Austin Coop and Taylor Hurst side by side into the backstretch. What a beautiful battle it is. The 911 down to the low side into turn number 3. The 53 of Austin Coop to the high side should have the momentum coming out of turn number 4. No, he's not going to have it as the 911 of Taylor Hurst comes up and blocks the 53. Oh, a little bit of contact from Coop into Hurst through turn number 2. 72 of Farlow, look at the battle back here with Zach Knowles and Wade Cheetah. These guys are battling hard for that 5th position slot as Knowles currently has it. Coming out of turn number 4 is going to look a little loose. Cheetah to the high side, and now here comes Tanner Cook battling back from 11th position. At the restart, he's up to 7th and looking to the inside of Wade Cheetah with about 44 laps to go. Is going to try to get by Cheetah and battle Knowles now as he wants to get in 6th position. Has it here through turn number 4, barely edging out the 12 of Cheetah. So Tanner Cook scored 6th position here with 43 to go. Running that extremely low line through turns 1 and 2, trying to move a slide move up to the high side of the track now as he nearly comes door to door with Wade Cheetah into turn number 3. Continues to look to that low groove to pick up some more track time. And almost making contact with the 99 of Zach Knowles. Tanner Cook on the move now up into 5th position. Zach Knowles side by side with Knowles. This 96 car knows how to work these lower grooves as he now is going to get by Zach Knowles into 4th. Or excuse me, 5th position as Ray Farlow just ahead of him is in 4th. Looks like some connection issues are plaguing the 53, and it looks like we're going to have another caution flag come out as the 15 of Scott Naslin. Looks like he got pushed to the infield. Let's go back and take a look. Following the 15 of Scott Naslin as he works his way through turns 3 and 4 just to the inside of that 06 machine. Dwight Beverly. Beverly's going to tag him coming through turn number 4, and wow, Naslin's going to get spun around down to that infield, and that's going to bring out the next caution of the night. Tempers starting to brew here. You still see some damage, major damage on Benny Ellison's car, that Mopar machine to the outside. Cone car now makes his way off of pit road. Take a look at that. The Cone car started 2nd here tonight. Kyle Barnes down there. They call it the CRA Cone car. Here comes the choose roll, folks, as the pace car works his way by. In and out, in and out. 2. Oh, so Zach Knowles will pick up a position. So the pace car out of turn number 4. The lineup's getting shuffled when you get across the start-finish line. We'll have that for you, the top 5. So DeMerchant will be up front with Hurst to the outside. Coop, Farlow, your front 4. And Zach Knowles will go to 5th. Again, folks, tonight this is the Accelerated Graphics 150 Championship Racing Association League special event here at Irwindale. As we now see the pace car head into the pits, it will be the 35 of Seth DeMerchant setting the pace when we go back green. Total of 47 laps led here tonight. Keep your eye on the 96 of Tanner Cook, who's currently in 6th position. He had a total of 65 laps led before the invert at lap 77. Oh, and Wade Cheetah. Not quite sure what happened there. Boy. Tempers. Gotta go back and capture a replay. I'm not sure exactly what happened here with that 12 machine. Let's go back and take a look at the replay. Don't know if this was intentional or just anticipating a restart. Take a look at this. 12 of Wade Cheetah is going to swing wide right there, just ahead of Zach Knowles, and come down and just crash right into the 72 of Ray Farlow. 911 Taylor Hurst is going to be pushed up into the wall. So not exactly sure what happened there, if it's a machine issue, as we now see the 12 of Wade Cheetah down on pit road. Pace car out yet again. Austin Coop, Tanner Cook coming down pit road, as well as the 06 of Dwight Beverly. It's 36 laps remain, and we have 2 staying out. So pace car is actually going to stop. See if we can go to Kyle Barnes and get an update, maybe to see what happened, if that was actually intentional or if it was PC related. Kyle, this is Dustin in the booth. Are you there?
Yeah, I got you.
So the little bit of issues there with the 12 of Wade Cheetah. Can you elaborate on what happened there coming out of turn number 4 at the restart?
He says that he blinked out and had connection issues. I don't know. He said the safest thing to do would be get to the bottom of the track, but if he's in the outside lane and everybody's to the bottom of him, don't really know what he was thinking.
Decided to take a few with him down to the bottom lane.
Yeah. I mean, I have no clue what was going through his head. So we're giving these guys a few seconds to repair their vehicles, and then we're going to let them come back out and get them positions they had.
All right, and so then we'll have a full restart. All right, Kyle, appreciate the update there. Just wanted to clarify it for the audience to make sure it didn't look like it was intentional. But, it's one thing we got to bring race control in just to get a clarification, and appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem at all. We're going to do a red flag here for about another minute and a half, let these guys repair their vehicles, because we're not going to, nullify a race when something stupid like that happens. So we're going to give all these guys a fair chance to fix their cars, put them back in the positions they were in on that last restart, and then give them another go.
And how are we looking on session time? I know tonight we had a 150-lap race. First half went by really quick. I think you said it was only a 1-hour session. Are we looking good on time?
Yeah, it's actually a 1 hour and 40-minute session, so we still got about 40 minutes to play with here. 35 laps. Yeah, there's no way we'll hit the time limit, so we'll be good.
All right, Kyle, we'll appreciate the update. We got the red flag out, so that's going to lead us to a commercial break. We come back, we'll have some more race action for you, folks, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back. This is the Accelerated Graphics 150 here at Irwindale.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, this Wednesday night. I'm Dustin Caldwell. Thanks for tuning into the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network for the Accelerated Graphics 150 and the Championship Racing Association League presented by Accelerated Graphics. As you show the sponsors image up there, logo up there on the screen with the phone number. If you're looking for some graphics work, definitely give Accelerated Graphics a call. Their number's right there on the screen, or you can find them on the web at worth2tenths.com. So an interesting turn of events after the mid-race restart. Last caution being thrown and actually a red flag coming out as the 14 of Wade Cheetah had a little bit of connection issues and came down into the side of the rest of the field, starting in back in about 5th, 6th position. Took a couple of drivers to the inside, so race control decided to let a little bit of repair action happen on pit road, so they threw the red flag, parking the drivers, and they're not going to get the cone rule this time. So normally, like when they would go back, pace for a lap or two, they would have that choose rule, as you've seen here tonight, with that Legends car come out and park on turn number or in the backstretch before turn number 3. They would choose the inside or outside lane. Will not have it. They will get the lineup back to where it was as they were going to the restart due to a graphic mishap from the 14 of Wade Cheetah. Or excuse me, the 12 of Wade Cheetah. The 14 is Tom Hameka. Again tonight, Championship Racing Association using their own cautioning system actually was led by the iRacing pace car to the start of the race, and now finds themselves with the CRA pace car, that Corvette down there you see, driven by Kevin Crash Hash, who drives in the Modified Madness Tour. Typically, you would find that on Wednesday nights. Actually, coming up next Wednesday, the Modified Madness Tour will be back in action. And Christian Peterson, one of the best drivers you're seeing out there so far in the season, one of the faster guys, I should say, replaced best with fast, as he's been pretty dominant early on. Had that first mishap at USA, but came back in a vengeance at New Smyrna and really dominated, went from green to checkered, leading the whole time for the Tours. Jody Green and Benny Ellison, Jason Freeman, a few of the guys back there in the lights. It's a toss-up right now in the lights, which is good. It's a very competitive atmosphere that we're seeing back there with the lights. Actually, we didn't have our camera set to live, so do apologize on that, but the race is back underway with 32 laps remaining as the 35 of Seth DeMerchant is back to the race. 53 of Austin Coop to the outside of Tanner Cook. Tanner Cook at the invert was back at a 10th position, fell back to 11th, now finds himself in 3rd with 32 to go. To the inside of the 53 of Austin Coop, and now the 96 machine battles side by side, a little door bang action before turn number 1. Tanner Cook looking to take over 2nd position. The 96 machine out of turn number 2 climbs the high line. Austin Coop tries the crossover, does not have it, as Farlow and Knowles dives down 3 wide action through turns 3 and 4. Knowles going to climb the track into the side of the 72 of Ray Farlow, and Zach Knowles yet again saves it from disaster across the front stretch. Brandon Simmons side by side with Kyle Leveralt right behind him. Leveralt into the wall. Simmons nearly making it into the wall. Gets a little bit loose. Leveralt pushes high. Has the 14 of Hameka to the inside out of turn number 4. DeMerchant still continues to run that high line through turns 1 and 2. Trying to use the racecraft of seeing the shadows up off the wall and picking up some grip, but at the expense of climbing the high side of the track. Take a look at this. So as he gets into turn number 1, you can see the shadowing up there. He's not going to use it this time by, but has used it prior, as now the 96 of Tanner Cook, who once passed the 35 of DeMerchant, battles back towards the race lead in that mid-groove through turn number 4, comes out, and he climbs under a quarter-second gap between the 35 and the 96 into turns 1 and 2, and Tanner Cook, opposite parallels. Oh, and the caution flag is going to get thrown, as it looks like Wade Cheetah down on pit road, actually, Scott Naslund. Let's go back and take a look at the replay. Oh, and somebody's going to get bumped. It looked like the 87 of Robbie Bundon got turned by Brandon Simmons. So that's who it was. It was Robbie Bundon. Michigan driver here tonight started on the pole. He's just been troubled. He's running the Donald Trump paint scheme on that car. See the rear end damage as well. So the cone car out. As the drivers will come around and choose their lanes. Pace car makes his way by Seth the Merchant. Tanner Cook to choose. And Farlow's going to pick up a position. So they get their positions lined up. We'll be going green with 23 to go as the pace car comes across that start-finish line. Taking it to 24 remaining. Appreciate you tuning in, folks. Tomorrow we're going to be up on the iRacing Live portal with the Formula Renault 2.0 League. Or excuse me, Precision Racing League in their Formula Renault 2.0 series, their iRacing Intermediate Championship Series. It's been a good battle, toss-up in that one. A lot of good drivers in there. They'll be at Daytona tomorrow night. And tune into that at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So Cook and DeMerchant. DeMerchant to set that pace coming off of turn number 4. Flagman ready to give the signal. There it goes. Green flag. We're back to green with 23 to go. DeMerchant working at high line as Cook works the low. Coop in the middle. And Tanner Cook and Seth DeMerchant battling hard into turn number 3. Ray Farlow to the outside of Austin Coop. Zach Knowles back there is going to get a little bit of contact from the 72 as the 72 gets into the wall. Out of turn number 4. Zach Knowles now to the inside of the 72. Ray Farlow as the 96 to the inside of Seth DeMerchant in the backstretch. And it looks like Seth DeMerchant's going to edge out Tanner Cook and Zach Knowles. And Ray Farlow, wow, take a look at that. Knowles is going to turtle himself. Unbelievable. Wonder what the odds at Vegas were that car could do that here at Irwindale. Let's go back and take a look at the replay. I knew they were battling hard coming out of turn number 2. See what happens here is Farlow and Knowles are battling hard out of turn number 2. And a contact right there. So you're going to see Knowles climb the track, turn Ray Farlow. They both are going to head for that barrier right before turn number 3 that's going to split the track and pit road. Head-on collision. Take a look at this. Wow. Zach Knowles in the air completely flips the car over on the roof, and that pole solidifies him to able to land it. I tell you what, folks, I think the odds of this happening, you could probably get a hole-in-one at a golf course. The odds are probably better of that than seeing this happen again here at Irwindale. Amazing. Tough luck, though, for the 99 of Zach Knowles. So the cone car comes back out onto the track. The drivers will choose their lines. Or actually, they've already chosen their lines. Typically have 4 laps of pacing, but due to the pacing, or the laps counting in the pace, they only are doing 2 laps, which makes it tough for me to get replays in, but that's all right. Trying to get it all at once for you folks. Appreciate you tuning in here this Wednesday night. Seth DeMerchant and Tanner Cook now again battling up front as the 53 of Austin Coop, the 06 of Dwight Beverly. Rounding out your front 4, Kyle Leverald and Brandon Simmons. Rounding out the front 6. Flagman throws the signal. There's the green flag, and there goes the 35 of Seth DeMerchant. We now have 18 laps to go in the race here tonight, and Austin Coop to the back of Tanner Cook as Tanner Cook came down in front of the 53 machine. And a little side-by-side battle between Dwight Beverly Brandon Simmons making it 3 wide out of turn number 4. Beautiful action there. Kyle Leverall to the middle as Beverly to the high side. Simmons to the middle. Simmons is going to get around both of them. But look at the 0-6 of Dwight Beverly rally back on that high line. Kyle Leverall and Brandon Simmons battling out, door banging. A little bit of damage on that 7 of Kyle Leverall. Tanner Cook and Seth DeMerchant battling up front. Running 2 different distinct lines here as DeMerchant using that high line, Cook using the low line, and it looks like the 35 is edging out the 96. Austin Coop back there in 3rd position. Two front drivers begin to pull away from the 3rd position driver as the 0-6 of Beverly and the 0-9 of Simmons now begins to challenge Austin Coop for 3rd. Simmons getting around Beverly here out of turn number 4, but Beverly's going to rally back across that start-finish line. He's going to be scored at 4th, but here comes Simmons once again. The low line turns 1 and 2. What a battle here between the 0-6 and the 0-9. 0-6 of Beverly to the high side as now Brandon Simmons is going to get around him and cut, and Beverly tries to crossover, and in doing that cuts off the 7 of Kyle Leverall. Leverall's going to go to the inside of Beverly. Not going to have it though. Out of turn number 2, back up to the race lead, the 35 of Seth DeMerchant to the high side as now Tanner Cook gets the break he was looking for. A little too high of a line from the 35 of Seth DeMerchant. As now Tanner Cook realizes that the 35 continues to run the high line. He's now at a quarter panel. Falls back to half a car length into turn number 3 with 12 laps to go. Seth DeMerchant still has the race lead. Total of 72 laps led here for the 35. The man behind him, the 96, has a total of 65 laps led. Dominated the first half of the race. And now finds himself in 2nd position behind the 35 of Seth DeMerchant. Into turn number 3, Tanner Cook looking in that middle groove as DeMerchant runs the high line, still hanging on to that momentum. Out of turn number 4, it is now 10 laps remaining here at Irwindale. It's going to go quick. Tanner Cook just waiting for the right moment. Under 10 laps. Next time by will be in single digits as it'll be 9 laps to go. Through turn number 4. Seth DeMerchant crosses that start-finish line. And now it is go time. Once you get into the single digits, this is when the drivers get antsy and start to make moves. Top 5 in your bottom left, folks. DeMerchant, Cook, Coop, Simmons, and Beverly are your top 5. Race statistics out of the 142 completed. 4 lead changes. And 4 cautions here tonight. I'm counting them manually. And DeMerchant begins to pull away to a half a second lead. Now closes to a 0.4 of a second lead as the 96 of Tanner Cook just can't edge out the 35 of DeMerchant. DeMerchant works his way through turns 1 and 2 with 7 laps to go. Still at the race lead. And they begin to work their way, and it doesn't look like Tanner Cook's going to have enough for Seth DeMerchant. Into the backstretch towards turn number 3 goes that 35, 6-man Inc. car. 5 laps now remain in the race. Can Tanner Cook, the 96 machine, catch up to Seth DeMerchant? He's desperate. He's running that lower line, which is costing him more time, to now an 1/8 of a second gap between the two. Nice little side-by-side battle between Kyle Leverall and Dwight Beverly coming out of turn number 4. Across that start-finish line, the 0-6 of Beverly has 5th position over Kyle Leverall. Leverall looking to the inside through turns 1 and 2. Will not have it as now the 0-6 of Dwight Beverly edges out the 7 of Kyle Leverall. But here comes Leverall to the inside, running that middle groove. Trying to battle hard back. Turns 3 and 4 is his bread and butter turns tonight. Not quite going to do it this time, but he's going to run the same groove. Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting down to the wire. Kyle Leverall, Dwight Beverly, the battle for 5th position. Who will be in that top 5 slot when that checkered flag falls? I'll tell you what, in 2 laps you'll know, as the next time by it's going to be the white flag for the 35 of Seth DeMerchant. Tanner Cook doesn't look like he's going to have it here as he's 0.8 of a second, almost 0.9 of a second behind that 35 machine as he now heads into turn number 3. It's going to be the white flag this time by the white flags in the air for Seth the Merchant. One more lap to go. Into the backstretch goes the 35 of Seth the Merchant towards turn number 3 in that 6-man Inc. late model car. Oh, and look at this move by Tanner Cook to try to pick up, and he gets himself loose. Checkered flag goes to Seth the Merchant. Tanner Cook in second, Austin Coop third, and it looks like Dwight Beverly's going to battle and edge out the 7 of Kyle Leveralt. Leveralt will finish in 6th position. What a race it was here tonight, folks. There is that beautiful CRA pace car driven by Kevin Crash Hash. That got to come out a couple times tonight, as well as that legend car. You can barely see it over the wall. Was our choose rule cone. But the 35 of Seth the Merchant coming away with a victory. He's going to burn off what's left of the tires. And a little post-race battle between him and Tanner Cook. A beautiful job done by the two drivers. Tanner Cook finishes out tonight with a total of 65 laps led. 35 of the Merchant finishes out with a total of 84 laps led here at the race at Irwindale. Going to get some post-race interviews for you here. As we were looking for a few of the drivers to watch the Merchant burn off the rest of his tires. We're going to now go live to our third place finisher here tonight, the 53 car of Austin Coop. What a battle it was out there. Didn't look like you had the momentum to catch both the 35 and the 96, but you're able to rally that car back, finish third. Tell us a little bit about the race here at Irwindale.
Well, definitely, I think the setup was definitely one of the most fantastic setups I've ever driven. Of course, it had its moments once you got on the long run, but definitely a car that I thought suited me a lot because you could go whichever way you wanted to. From the drop of the green flag, I think I immediately went 3 wide. I think a few other people did. And the first, half of that race, we were able to go green flag, and it was really good racing. Once that halfway point hit, I think everyone knew it was time to go. Then we got shuffled back to 9th, which was a real bummer because we were second, and that was the highest we'd been all day, recovering from a spin off the first caution. And then the deal with Wade Cheetah. First of all, I got to apologize for speaking up on the radio to him. I opened my mouth and I didn't say anything mean, but it was, I shouldn't have said it. So I want to apologize to him directly because he's a good competitor, definitely a great racing rival of mine. I love racing with him, and stuff like that happens. Then after that, we just got, since we had a ton of right front damage, I was basically turning the wheel 90 degrees to the left to make it even turn. So getting third place was really, really having to saw at it a little bit, but definitely I'm proud to come home third, and glad Tanner got second, and really proud of Seth. He's always a guy worth chasing. To see him in front of my windshield getting first, it's kind of an honor.
Is there any final sponsor or thanks you'd like to give for your third place finish here tonight?
Yeah, I always got to thank Batteries Plus Bulbs. They give great deals in batteries and bulbs, so go check them out, get your car battery tested and all that kind of stuff. So just give a good shout out to them and family and friends, mother, father, all of them make it happen for me all the time, grandmother, everybody, brother's out in the Navy, so, support my brother and what he does.
Well, appreciate your brother's service, and congratulations here tonight, Austin, for a third place finish here at Irwindale. Now going to go to the second place finisher here tonight, Tanner Cook. Tell you, Tanner, you come in second place here tonight. Beautiful job done up front to get around Seth in that first half of the race. You led 65 laps, got around the 35 machine around lap 12, and it was off to the races there for a while. You're able to rally back, and then got a bad draw at the invert where you fell back to 10th position, fell even further back to around 11th, rivaled your way back through the field, and you found yourself just behind the 35 with a couple of cautions, got bunched up, had some opportunities to pass. It looked like that high line was working with them. I saw you working that low line. Tell us a little bit about that second half for you and how that panned out.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good race. Hats off to Seth for the win. He drove a heck of a race up there on the wall. Honestly, I didn't have the guts to put it up that close, afraid to wad it up. But we had a good car all race until that incident with Wade Cheetah, and it messed a toe in or something on the right front, and I just couldn't stick it on the bottom like it had been all race.
But you are able to hang on and finish second. No small feat here at this hot track at Irwindale. Is there any thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give for your runner-up finish tonight?
I'd like to give thanks to Kyle for putting this on. And I don't have any sponsors on the car, but I'd like to give out a shout-out to the Bash Bros, they like to call themselves, for having such a great race. I didn't see one of them up front all race after all that crap talking they was doing all week. And Smash Bros are here for life.
All right. Well, a little bit of challenge rivalry now for those guys. So, but congratulations again here tonight, Tanner. Excellent job running that car through this hot track here at Irwindale, and we look forward to seeing more out of you in the future.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for broadcasting.
Not a problem. There you have it, folks. The 96 of Tanner Cook coming in second place. Now we're going to go live with the man with the most laps led here tonight, the 35 late model, running that 6-man Inc. car. Seth DeMerchant joins me now. 84 total laps led here tonight. It was no small feat. One of the only drivers that could really hold that very high line as you got close to that wall up there in turns 1 and 2. Tell us a little bit about that and how you were able to hold off that 96 machine.
Yeah, just in practice, was practicing a bunch of different lanes because this track is different pretty much through every car. You know, and the torch usually in the middle. In this car, though, I found it was like right up against the wall. And it felt like I was saving tire better and I could get really good runs off. And it was really hard to pass, so if I was able to run the top good enough, I don't think he would have been able to get around me.
An excellent job done here tonight, Seth. Really worked this car around, you know, after the lap 12 passing of Tanner Cook, where he said his car was really working that bottom line. He led for the next 65 laps, so he stopped for that invert. He went back to 10th. You got inverted as well, but you came back through that field, took over the lap, and led a total of 84 here tonight. Definitely a difficult feat to get back through that field after that invert. But is there any key points you'd like to mention about the race tonight?
I just tires were really important, and I feel like, and that's I got lucky with the invert putting me back up into the lead, but early, you know, I wanted to either be able to stay out front if I could, but try to not use too much tire, and if I couldn't do that, then I was going to try to drop and hope to get lucky on the invert, which I did, and that's just what worked out for me. And I was really, I think I had enough tire left that I could have held off anyone. You know, it sucks for the guys that got wrecked with that lag deal or whatever happened on the pace lap, but I think I had enough tire left, even if that wouldn't have happened, to hold them off.
All right. Any final thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give for your victory here tonight?
Just to Kyle for putting the league on.
All right. Well, appreciate it. I'm sure Kyle will appreciate it. And congratulations again tonight. What a hard-fought battle on the Accelerated Graphics 150. Congratulations, Seth.
Thank you.
There you have it, folks. Going to be joined now by the admin man yet again. We had a chance to talk to him. Admin man putting on the hat as the Choose Rule Cone here tonight. Kyle Barnes joins me and talking a little bit about this race. What a nice race it was, Kyle. A lot of hard-fought battle through this field. Seen a lot of diverse lanes running. Some of the guys running some lower, extremely lower grooves. A lot of three-wide action in late models. I tell you what, you see that in street stocks, and it's you kind of like, okay, that's street stocks. When it comes to late models, though, seeing three-wide action kind of makes you a little nervous, makes the hair stand up on the back of your neck. But your guys is here, the guys that raced here tonight, really did it with class and style. Excellent racecraft here and minimal cautions. Can't say enough about that. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts here at Irwindale.
Oh yeah, it was a great event. If you don't count the glitch with Wade and you don't count the intermission, I think we only had 6 cautions. But over the 6 cautions, I think we only had about 18 total caution laps, 18 to 20, somewhere around in there. So that was really good. The guys really helped me out and got in line where they should be. I think there was only one time where I had to line everybody back up when we had a caution off the restart. It was really nice to see everybody running side by side. You guys having that 3 wide battles all throughout the field. I just absolutely hate to see what happened there with a little under 50 laps left with the glitch of Wade Cheetah. I think he took out a lot of good cars right there, and it's hard to say. Seth ran a perfect race. I mean, he worked the invert, but it's hard to say that some of these guys wouldn't have been up there battling for the lead at the end if that wouldn't have happened.
Unfortunate events, but it does pan out the way it does. And even though Tanner Cook was involved in that Wade Cheetah incident, he's able to rally back, finish second position here tonight. The guy you said was going to be the ringer. Taylor Hurst, on the other hand, started to rally back further and further towards the first half of that race. Even the early part of the second half, didn't really have it. Ends up finishing, I believe, 16th here tonight. But a lot of the drivers, a lot of these modified drivers going forward, do you think some of the little bit of tension here going to carry next week when we go back to the modifieds?
You can't really ever tell with these guys. I mean, some things will, some things won't. It really just depends on what kind of mindset these guys came into this race with. If they came into a race where they're going to carry things over from previous races, then yeah, I'd say that they'll take this on with them. But if this was a race where they just felt like was a special event and they just came in here to have fun, then I don't think you'll see a lot of those issues boil over into the modified series. But it'll be interesting to see. I think a lot of guys have a right to be mad about some things that happened out there on the racetrack and a couple incidents. So if it does boil over into the modified series, it's just whatever these guys want.
All right. Well, what a great race it was here tonight for the Accelerated Graphics 150. Any final words you'd like to give the audience?
Yeah, I got to thank everybody for watching the race tonight. Got to thank the drivers for coming out and running with us. You for broadcasting the event, and of course, Accelerated Graphics for sponsoring it. I think it turned out to be a great race. Trying something new, different. I know it's new on your end. Broadcasting with our own pace car and our own cone restarts, but you did an excellent job picking up on it really quick, and can't wait to move forward and maybe do some more races like this in the future.
Definitely look forward to it, Kyle. Appreciate your time. Appreciate the race here tonight. And we'll see more in the future, but if not before, we'll see the Modified Madness Tour next Wednesday night.
All right, we'll see you then.
There you have it, folks. Kyle Barnes, the league administrator for the Championship Racing Association League. Again, folks, one last time, we'll show you the sponsor for tonight, Accelerated Graphics. If you're looking for some graphic design or some graphic work in general, give these guys a check out. Their phone number down there below on the logo that we show on the screen. You can also find them on the web at worth2tenths.com. So, in summary, out of the 150 completed, 4 lead changes, and I believe it was a total of 6 cautions. We're going to subtract 2 out of there. Final results on the screen. Seth the Merchant takes victory here in Irwindale. Tanner Cook in second. Austin Coops, Brandon Simmons, Dwight Beverly through the top 5. Robbie Bunden, Kyle Leverall, Tom Hameka, Alan Wild, Scott Naslin through 10. Benny Ellison, Zach Knowles, after Turtle in his car on that barrier, finishes 12th position. Ray Farlow 13th, Jeff Ryan 14th, Wade Cheetah in the top 15. Taylor Hurst, Ryan Lang, Marvin Turnmeyer Jr., Jody Green rounding out your field. We'll call Crash Hash in 20th, and the cone car through 21st. Christian Peterson tonight shows up to give some autographs for the Modified Madness Tour. We'll be back in action next Wednesday night, folks, at 9:15 on iRacing Live and here on the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network to cover the Modified Madness Tour coming up tomorrow night. Precision Racing League with their iRacing Intermediate Championship. Formula Renault 2.0 is at Daytona Road Course. Definitely want to tune in and catch that action tomorrow at 8 o'clock. We're off Friday for the holidays and off Monday, so hopefully before then, if we don't see you, have a great 4th of July holiday. But that is going to do it for us here tonight. Appreciate you tuning in. I'm Dustin Caldwell saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time tomorrow night here on the Digital Forge Broadcast Network.